Good evening. This is another scene in Darkness in Dublin. This one's a little mage social taking place after the last one, which was the sort of the grand opening of the replacement for the Griffith House, known as Agrabah Nights. Um, in the follow up to that, we're saying that Finley, Professor Lockhart, and Jordan Brown all stayed a little bit afterwards and are chatting as they either pick at their meals or simply, don't leave. Finley seems a little bit nervous around Jordan. By the way, Byron, your picture just went away.
Go ahead and go on. I got it. Oh, wait, I'll fix it.
Okay. He seems a little nervous around. God damn. There you go. He seems a little nervous around Jordan for many reasons. Jordan seems to be pretty intimidating, and plus he doesn't really look like your standard, as they call it, Kavadi. However, he's going to look over at Alan and say, "So, I assume you've been busy for a while, but there have been some interesting events recently. I should probably bring you up to speed on."
Please do.
And as a newcomer, it wouldn't hurt if you knew this. Well, actually, that means I should probably backtrack a little bit to what you already know, Alan, for our newcomers' benefit here. The city you've arrived in, Mr. Brown, is, well, it's under siege by the technocracy.
Yeah.
I mean, many places are, but in this case, it's a kind of a running battle. I can speak to experience that there is, or was, a 5-man strike team, probably within a block or so of here, ready to shoot a mage walking out of here. Also, what is that noise? Testing. Hello?
Oh.
Byron, could you join the hangout?
I think that's just his connection. We may have to just deal with it.
Okay. All right, Byron, you still there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's probably his connection. Okay, moving on. So the technocracy are here in force. They also have they've attempted a few things already. They attempted a plague, which was defeated. Or at least for now, they may attempt to recreate it at some point. There was a separate plot involving a mystical clock from the time of Atlantis, which was stopping time. And the goal of the individual who acquired it, who is apparently a long thought deceased hermetic magister, he was attempting to stop time for his own purposes. He thought he was doing the world a favor. The clock was destroyed, and the magister was killed. But thing is, these events have happened in close sequence, and we rather survived by the skin of our teeth. More importantly, moving on to more recent events, there was how to phrase this? I happened to witness there was an encounter outside the Griffith Club while it was still the Griffith Club. A couple other individuals were there, but essentially, sorry, out of character. I'm trying to focus. Okay. Yeah, he's going to have to try reconnecting because I can't understand a word he's saying right now. Sorry. Anyways, well, if he's BRB, I guess we'll go over it twice. Byron, are you back, Byron?
Yes.
Could you rejoin the hangout?
Yeah, you've become utterly unintelligible at this point. I know, it's a pain in the ass. I fully sympathize with his frustration.
Yeah, I wish we could get him a new mic.
I don't think it's the mic. I think it's his browser. What browser are you using?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, Byron, what browser are you using?
The only one that will win it.
What browser?
Chrome.
Ah ha ha ha!
Chrome
Get
works fine for me, though.
Chromium. Get Chromium. It'll work better with Windows 10, and you should be able to avoid those issues.
I mean, okay, I don't know if that'll fix it. It doesn't do anything for me, but maybe I'll help him. Anyways, hopefully, you may just have to reconnect a few times over the course of this because it was emitting lots of white noise. Ah, he'll be back.
I think he went to go get Chromium.
I hope not. I'll give him a couple seconds.
Doesn't take that long to download and install.
Okay, then I'll just go over, rather than create a lot of dead time, in case anyone winds up trying to listen to this scene later. I do apologize, but, new player. Okay, here we go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Okay, let's hope it stays that way. All right, so anyways, so there was an event outside this club. When I arrived, there were 5 individuals, apparently from the Middle Ages, who were all insane, all shackled together at the feet, all spouting different sorts of insanity. One of them was carving symbols on his chest. Another was yelling at the stars to stop in the heavens. Third one was, well, you get the idea. A third one swore that Christ had named him king of the world or something like that.
This almost sounds like a frat party from my previous university.
Where did you study?
Miskatonic.
Huh. Okay. He thinks you're making a joke, but he doesn't make any further comment. That sounds about right. They eventually vanished after an entity known as a loon, a dog that has some origin on the moon. It's a spirit creature. It arrived and apparently pacified them and whisked them away, and it mentioned some sort of warning. There were hermetics, I was told. I didn't see anything but the after effects of this. There were explosions visible in the night sky on the moon. Large-scale explosions.
Neat.
And very obviously magical in nature. And those stopped too after a little while. I believe the effects have been hidden. However, there was one lasting consequence. There was a rain of small white pebbles, debris apparently, that rained onto the street. From what I was told, these are from the moon. I can only assume magic was involved, since I don't think they would have survived entry at their size. It's not simply a curiosity, though. The touch of these moon rocks kills your magic.
Interesting.
When you touch it, it's as if you're a sleeper again. You don't forget anything, but you cannot do magic. Within so many inches or so, or centimeters, it seems to short out your magic a little bit. And in larger amounts and numbers, that field extends a little bit further. That's not the worst part, though. Several people took samples, but then it started raining, and all of the samples that were there, other than what had been taken inside, melted and flooded into the sewers, where by now they will have entered the main water system.
Oh dear.
Don't drink the water. I recommend bottled water. And in fact, I wouldn't even recommend bathing necessarily unless you have a supply of water elsewhere.
It would be prudent to purchase a camping shower.
I've actually begun doing so, and I'd be glad to share it if anyone absolutely needs it. I just need a place to keep it where it's easily accessible. But in any case, that is a large purchase. However, I might have to ask a few other people to chip in. Anyways, that's one issue at present. I don't fully know. There was a related issue there. Oh, sorry. I thought you said a camping trailer. My bad. Not a camping shower. My bad. Anyways. Well, you see, after the stones went away, the technocracy arrived, that 5-man strike team I mentioned, and they thought that we had caused it, and someone was foolish enough to try and bluff them into saying we did. I put a stop to that.
You can't respond to that.
Yes.
Why?
Apparently they thought that we could blackmail them or threaten them with this, and I've pointed out that had they believed him, all that would have accomplished is for either a fight or for us to be kidnapped.
Yeah.
Or dead.
That too.
Well,
It didn't help matters that individual is apparently on their hit list, as he bragged.
Apparently, this individual does not believe that others matter, judging by this.
But in any case, the fallout was a bit more interesting. I happen to be looking with Spirit Sight, and the veil. There's always I guess, well, it's called the Gauntlet by most. I mean, I'm explaining this to people who probably know more about this and have known about it for longer than I have. I'm still new to this. But apparently there is another gauntlet forming. A second gauntlet.
Okay.
It's in the lower atmosphere between us and the moon, if I'm not mistaken. It's thicker. I don't know what its purpose is, but that's incredibly unusual. I've never seen anything like that or heard anything like that.
Oh, the ST to make a roll. Well, not better.
You can always message him later and ask him for that, yeah. That's probably an Umbra lore thing, I bet. But anyways, or maybe Dreamspeaker, I don't really know. Anyways.
Oh my.
So that's one major issue going on. Plus the blood plague that may or may not come back at some point. Plus, so you have the new gauntlet, a possible blood plague, the anti-magic pebbles that are now dispersed into our water supply indefinitely.
How long before you
these
need
genies,
the 1 hour?
I have no idea. I have no idea what potency it needs to be in or how long it'll take it to eventually disperse.
Well,
I have nothing to base it on. There were some people who took samples, however. I did not. I didn't want to carry them home. But I know for a fact one of the Hermetics, a man named insert Mark Peterson's character's name here, damn it. He took a small amount of samples, and another man took quite a few, actually. He took almost a bucket full. That was the individual who bragged about being on their hit list, so I can only imagine what he planned on doing with it. Perhaps he meant to make explosives.
I don't know.
Would such a thing even work against Union technology?
Oh.
I don't know. However, with all of these various things coming about, and the genies that are now apparently waiting to be discovered in the city, and I believe we're all in agreement that if those are found, everyone here would probably prefer them to go back to their owners who know what the hell to do with them.
I have no need of wishes.
Well, I mean, everyone would probably like good wishes, but at the same point, I don't think it's worth the risk. And I would much rather be on our host's good side. In fact, I'm really surprised this sketch, the ecstatic they spoke of, I'm surprised. I've never met him. Must be new in town, but I am very surprised that person has not already tried to return the artifact. But each to their own. However, all of that in mind, Professor, my tutor and I, the good lady Christina Spanos, We are trying to form a small group here in the city, which would be essentially for people who are of like mind, not of the same tradition, obviously, but those whose knowledges tend towards the more academic, esoteric, the spiritual specifically. I thought it might be something you would be interested in. We still need to find, if anyone else were interested in joining us, we would need to find a base of operations here in the city. But to be organized would be very helpful right now, given all the threats the city is facing.
Interesting. I'll be interested in helping you. I got nothing.
If there's anything we have learned from the Union, it's that organization gives very good strengths.
That's true enough. He looks over towards oh, your minicam stopped. You have to reactivate it when you enter, I guess. He looks over.
Yeah, you just turn the turn camera on button at the very top of your Hangouts, and we'll do it.
He looks over at Jordan, kind of tilts his head slightly. Well, from what I understand, the Dream Speakers are quite talented with it, but I hope you'll forgive me, but you're a new arrival. People can be a little bit suspicious. And you don't know anyone in the city currently. Let's see. He looks nervous, like, I can't vouch that Christina would agree, but I'd be more than willing to introduce you to her and see if she likes you.
That'll be fine.
Okay, so we will try that at some point then. In the meantime, I think we should plan loosely to sometime in the near future. At the very least, he looks over at Jordan. I don't know where your talents lie, but at some point in the near future, I believe what we might do is attempt to find a node. If you, and I might have someone else I know who would be willing to assist. I figure anyone who's willing to assist, even if they do not become part of the quote unquote cabal that might form, we could arrange some sort of payment. So if you weren't to join the cabal, we would pay you in maybe a one-time dose of quintessence or sanctuary rights should you need them. Something along those lines. That's if Christina were not to approve, but I believe she probably would if there's nothing to.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well,
nothing against.
I mean, I've never met any Dream Speakers, to be fair, but you don't look like how they were described.
What are you thinking? Some long beard hippie?
Frankly, yes. I mean, then again, I'm of the faction that apparently our stereotype is druidic robes and sickles. Then again, he pulls his jacket back and reveals he actually has a sickle.
Exactly. In some ways or another, I'm just like my people. But in others, I differ a lot.
Well, that's if you are part of their organization, then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're within reason. You're not walking around asking to meet our higher ups and where our strongholds are and so on and so forth, which is something in your favor. The last stranger I saw to enter the city did that, and everyone was suspicious of him after that. Anyways, all right, so loosely, if things work out, we should perhaps exchange numbers, but of course be cautious. The technocracy are likely listening in on anything we say. We should only agree to meet together, not to discuss what we're meeting for. I believe we can work together to find a place that will temporarily, I don't know if any of you who would know of a place for this, he looks over at Lockhart. If we could find a location suitable for a few basic rights to attempt to locate or divine a location. My apartment's certainly not large enough, nor is it private enough. I don't know if anyone else here would know of such a location. I could ask around. Otherwise, what we may have to do is find a out-of-the-way secluded location and then ward it, and then attempt to find things from there. It would be temporary.
I have been attempting to look for a suitable property for my own uses. I have unique requirements.
I can imagine. Perhaps we could pool resources in that search and find something suitable enough as a group. In any case, I don't want to detain you gentlemen any longer. It's definitely been an interesting evening. Just remember, if you find one of those genie lamps, just probably best to bring it back. But I doubt they're going to be lying around unguarded from what he said.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
If the legends follow suit, they will mostly be hard to find.
Undoubtedly, but once we've got some momentum going, we could probably assist in that search in some way. Anyways, with that, because I'm hosting a hangout and I'm like about to pass out here. Is that good for folks, or?
Yeah.
I'm good.
It was a short scene, I know, but this is just like a chit chat. So, basic plans. All right. With that in mind, they'll talk for a little bit longer and then presumably disperse. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And yay, new characters.